And a very good evening to you. Thank you so much for selecting GBC 24. It's time to bring you your program, Legends of Our Time. On this platform, we celebrate great achievers. My name is Gifty Eji. Now, my guest today is a true genius. He never went to school, but due to his iconic handiworks as a coffin maker, he has become one of the world's most notable sculptors. His coffins have been put on display in cities like New York, London, Paris, and Dresden, just to mention a few. Before I introduce my guest, let's take a quick break, look at some of the works he's done, and then we'll talk. Well, my guest this evening is Mr. Joseph Ashon, popularly called Paju. Because his English is limited, we have his first son in the studio as well. He's the person of Jacob Tete Ashon. So, Mr. Ashon, times two, Jacob, and then Mr. Joe, come. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for it.
And first of all, how come you never went to school, Paju?
Actually, I'm studying. But my father and my mother marriage, we cut. So my mother, she take my all sisters. Only me is a man.
The only boy.
The only boy. To Teshi. So only me and my father in the village. The village is a Buru.
Okay.
She lives a Gonte. So every morning I go to farm. But I'm lucky. My father sick. Very, very serious. So the family take my father and me, because only me and my father in the house.
Okay, you alone?
Yeah, so me alone, I can't stay in the house.
Okay.
That time young. So they are all we coming for the teshi. So early in the morning, through to my mother house. My mother too asked me, Paju, you go to school? I say, oh no, my father break me. So
he didn't allow you to go to school when you stayed with him?
Yeah,
okay.
To stay with him. Oh, that's all your father will stop in your school then. Me too, I can't allow to go the village to go and help him. So early morning, my father he take up. The sick all we go.
He recovered from the sickness.
Yeah. So in the morning we coming to call me to go village. Then my grandmother he take me to the bed.
Under the bed. He put you under the bed. Okay. But he wouldn't allow you
Then you
to
call
go with
me.
your father.
Hey, you boys, you are go take the show to come in. By that time I'm in the bed. I don't come out. Then my father go.
So he left you with your mother?
Yeah.
Okay.
So one day, I mean, past them, see the Kadekwe work. That time, you know, 14, 15 years. That time.
So Kanekwe started the trade. So whilst you lived with your mother, you saw some of his designs?
That's right.
Okay. And what happened next?
So I'm tell my mother to go and let that work. I mean, like it. So I go and let. Oh, Kadekwe is my brother.
Your mother's brother?
Brother, my mother brother.
Okay.
So I will see my brother to take me to there. Instead of we take me to the school, no idea. But then the first I'm worried.
You were worried
for
you
the
never
school.
went to school. Okay.
But now I'm enjoy.
Of course, you have achieved. Why not?
Yeah. So I don't go to school. I mean, like it.
So you went to Kanekwe to learn the trade for how many years?
Oh, it take me long year. Almost 11, 12 years.
Okay. And at that time, what kind of designs were you people making?
Oh, that time the Kanekwe would make the canoe, the fish, because here's a coastal. So the fishermen in the everybody will come in. Sometimes they use the cocoa pot.
Okay. So canoes and cocoa pots.
Yeah,
those
the
were
fish. Different coffin of the fish. Fishermen.
So at that time, it was Kanekwe who actually started the trade in these fantasy or stylish coffins.
No, not the Kanekwe. One Mr. Atowu, he started this work. Fantastic coffins.
Okay.
Atowu said that the time grandmother died, you know, his grandmother, he don't travel before to use aeroplane.
Okay.
So he make aeroplane coffin to grandmother to use it to heavy.
And what was that?
I think that was in 1950.
1950.
And at that time, Kutuka International Airport was under construction.
Okay.
So, you know, looking at when the planes flew, you know, up and down, so the grandmother was yearning to travel overseas, but unfortunately she was not able to travel before she passed away.
So he then made him
exactly
an aeroplane.
Yes, but initially people were being, like I said, chiefs and kings in Accra. They were being carried in palanquins. So we have the shapes, you know. So Atowu had the idea from the palanquins, and when the grandmother died, they said no, because of the idea I have, let me do something. So I think Kanekwe also was at that time, let's say, an ordinary carpenter. So he also got the idea from what Atowu was doing, and he modernized the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why did it take you that long, 12 years, to learn that trade?
The time I started, I'm young.
How old were you?
About 14, 15 years before I joined the Kanekwe.
And that took you 12 years to
Yeah.
learn. Why that long? Because I know today you can learn carpentry for like 3-4 years and then you become a master.
This work, very, very, very difficult. So if you don't take the time to learn the work, you can work.
Okay.
If you use the short time to learn this work, you can work.
Why? Why is this so? What do you want to come
You. I will show you the way it means to make this bottle. But somebody too will come in, not a bottle. Not a bottle, I will show you. Different design. How can we use it?
So
But all I can tell you is a gift. It's a gift. Because not me alone, but more people will let the work there. You don't pass.
Jacob, can see you want to.
Yes, what I wanted to say was, you will be ready to go. You know, looking at the years, maybe you came and you signed for 4 years, so you'll be ready at the end of the 4 years. You'll be ready to go. But on your departure, you realize there's a new ship or new style. What do? So you prefer to stay a bit to study the technique on how to make these exactly.
Okay.
And if you don't take care, and that will make you take a longer period in studying this, because there's a lot of techniques in making this. A lot of techniques.
We'll come there.
Yeah.
So, Paijo, were you the only person who was learning the trade, or actually learned the trade from Kanukwe at the time?
Only the Kanukwe.
Are you the only person who went to Kanukwe to learn?
More people, more boys were coming to starting, but they don't finish.
Why?
It's very hard.
How hard? Why? Would you want to come in?
You know,
maybe that time, no water.
Okay.
So you can use the bowl to go and bring your master.
Okay, means you have to save.
Exactly.
A lot of them were not prepared.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, at the same time, the night time, my master too, we don't chop the cake or something.
Okay.
All the time in fufu.
So you had to pound the fufu. And a lot of them, because of that, they ran away.
Yeah.
Okay. So when did you make your first design? What was it? When did you do it?
My first design.
Design. Yeah. What do you remember?
It's a building.
Okay. When was that?
The guy that's missing.
Okay.
So I made the estate coffin. Very nice.
Okay. I think we have that picture. Was that that design?
Yeah. This is my first coffin I make it.
Okay. Well, was it difficult at the time to do such a design?
Yeah.
How long did it take you?
That me and my first apprentice. So I can take this my first coffee, me alone, to make it.
So how long did it take you? A week?
It took me about 1 month.
Okay. Why did it take you that long?
It's a very, 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 very difficult. So just small, yeah.
Okay. So currently, how many coffins would you say you can do in a month or two, or how many?
Well. The work you don't come in continuously.
Okay.
So the whole month, maybe you can get a 2 or 4 coffin or 5 coffin.
Okay. Okay.
And when we were in the center of Accra, when we were in Nwa, from 1978, from 1978 to 2008, let me say the business was booming. Yes, because we are the roadside, so a lot of people work. We have a lot of huge customers. So in a month we can produce about 10 or and there were a lot of apprentices. But after we relocated to the new place in Pobimai, looking at the distance from Accra, a customer find it very difficult to travel all the way to Pobimai to buy a casket. No, let me find some in Accra to buy. So the business became very slow. So maybe in a month, maybe one, or something in a month, none at all.
Okay. Now let's look at the whole process. If somebody comes to you that I want you to do a particular design, what immediately comes into your mind? Because in your kind of work you do, everything is by hand.
Yeah.
And you don't have any formal education in terms of designs and all that. So when the person approaches you, what do you do? How do you start it and then end?
You see, that's why I tell you it's a very gift. So if you tell me you like this bottle, before my house will see the bottle, then mad you work it.
So what comes into your mind?
Maybe
if I want you to design this bottle
the next time I'm sleeping, then the picture will come in.
Okay. Jacob.
Yeah, because sometimes when it comes, they bring maybe a photograph of the design they want. Sometimes they don't have a photograph, but they only tell you maybe we want maybe Opel Kadett, and you have to go around and see where you can find maybe Opel, or maybe they want a peacock. You need to go where you can find a peacock, maybe the zoo. So you need to go there, study how the peacock is. When you come, you start making them. The moment you see the peacock, you start making the piece in your mind before you go straight to the wood. And so there is nothing like sketches. There is nothing like drawing. And
wow, you don't draw?
No. And as he said, it's a gift, and it's a wisdom of God. And such works demands wisdom. Without wisdom, you can't do this work.
Wow. So has there been a case where you've done a particular piece for a customer and he or she is not happy about what you've done?
It has happened several times.
So what do you do when it happens like that?
Sometimes you need to convince them, and sometimes if they are not, happy with what you are saying, you need to do a new one for them.
Wow, at whose cost?
At your own cost.
Wow. So if you want to build some of those designs that we watched, what are some of the basic tools that you use?
We have the resaw, we have the cross castle, we have the hammer, we have the wooden plane, and that's all.
So are these local materials you can find here, or sometimes?
Sure, when you go to the timber market or Katamanton.
Okay. So would you say, let me find out first, after going through all that pains to do a particular design for somebody, and then, finally for the whole thing to go underground, how do you feel, Pajo? You do something for somebody knowing that they are going to bury the person inside, and then that will be the end.
Normally, I'm very, very worried, because I may take my time. I'm thinking, no sleeping. I don't sleeping to make the coffin, the design the people will like it, to complete it nicely. Then you go to put it for the grave. But at the same time, I may get the money.
That's interesting.
Yes, and sometimes, as I said, yes, I think I quite remember I went to a funeral in Teshi, and I escorted the deceased with the procession to the cemetery. And when we got to the cemetery, I felt very difficult to watch our coffin being buried.
Why?
Because looking at the appointment you've cancelled because of this coffin, looking at the stress, and at the end of the day, just within some few hours, it took you weeks, months to make this, and just within few hours, very, very, that's the most sad thing. But when you go to the Western world, it's been displayed and people appreciate. We saw your piece at the museum. We saw your piece in the gallery. We were very happy, to celebrate, your exhibition. And sometimes when you hear certain things, it motivates you even to do more.
But let me find out, how expensive are your kind of coffins? Let's look at the very high range and then the list.
The price.
The price. How
the
much?
Price, not a one stage.
So which one is very expensive? Very low.
The museum coffins.
Okay.
I make it for the price. Why? To use it for the museum, the gallery.
How much?
And sometimes the most expensive is about over $12,000.
Okay. And then the least is how much?
Let's say $1,000 or something.
Why do you price it that way?
Depending on the details. When someone comes and the person give you a Chevrolet to build, or let's say the plaster house to do, how much do you think you can charge?
You can build the plaster house.
For sure. Just give us a photograph.
Just like this.
Yes,
only the picture.
Yes, give us the photograph and the money. That's all, and leave us.
Wow.
The photograph and the money. That's the only two things we need: the photograph and the money. And come back in some few weeks' time, you'll be glad. You see. So compare the Flagstaff house with your own house. Look how detailed both of them are. So one must be higher than the other.
So what does it take to learn your kind of trade? Can anybody at all come in?
Anyone at all, either male or female. That is when you are committed and dedicated to learn a trade at all. Yeah.
So Pajo, looking at your background, of course you are doing so well. And technology today, sometimes are you limited in a way that probably if you had gone to school would have helped or actually
I'm going to school that I can't let this work. Never. I can't let. I mean, go to the school to complete the school. No. I can't let this
with
work.
the advancement in technology today, you can use computer to do a lot of things. So
like the 3D and other stuff.
So you think if you had actually gone to school with the formal education a bit plus this talent,
I mean, go high.
It's true.
You see, because I can't take him to go school complete. The teacher will give me the K. Afterwards, then I learn this work to give you the saw. Pam, 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 pam.
So what are some of the challenges that come with your kind of coffins? If you want to do them, what are some of the challenges you face in the industry?
Oh, I can't get too much challenge.
But sometimes, you know, one of the challenge I have realized is when the time is, you know, short. Let's say, for example, the person comes to you and looking at the relationship with the person, and maybe as a customer, and the person says, we need it in a week time, and you can't send the person so away, and you have other things to do also. You know, sometimes you need to, you know, they put a lot of pressure on you. Although, and when they come in, sometimes as if they know. When they come, they pay you in full.
Okay.
They give you a deposit, and because they have given you a full payment, are you going to relax? You know, you'll be forced to do more.
Day and night.
You don't sleep.
You don't sleep.
But you know, there's this myth about death and coffins and all that. So, with your kind of trade, how do people see you?
We are Christians. Yes, we are Christians, and sometimes. People have the perception there is some voodoo, you know, behind this whole trade, but it is not.
Are you sure?
It is not. It is never. If there are other coffin makers, you know, who are attached to voodoo, then fine. But for I'm defending our case.
Don't do any
No. There's no libation. What?
No.
The only thing we always do is to pray, to ask God to give us more wisdom, more skills, because we believe it all only comes from above. Yeah, but if you are to, voodoo can disappoint you. Yes, and as I said, sometimes they give you. I realized it was some time ago, 2 years ago, after he had made 13 pieces of the castles and forts in Ghana in 2004. We were repairing the damages 2 years ago, and he was saying to himself that if today in the 21st century, yes, he's been given this commission, it will be very difficult for him to. He won't even know where to start and where to finish.
Why?
Because it's a gift from God. You know, the agenda has been accomplished.
Okay.
So he was able. He have to travel to all these castles and forts. He have to photograph them and come back, and everyone becomes amazed and astonished when they see these pieces.
You know what? Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll continue. Well, so if you just joined us, you're watching Legends of Our Time on GBC 24. Today, our guest is Pajo, and he's into stylish or designer coffins. I will take a break. When we come back, we'll continue with him. Please stay. Welcome back. You're still watching Legends of Our Time on GBC 24. My name is Gifty Eji, and today we are hosting Pajo, the popular designer coffin maker. So let me come back to you, Pajo, and then Jacob. So in 2013, you were actually invited to London, Nottingham, to celebrate your works. Tell us a bit about that.
Before that, I've been working for somebody in the London, Jack Bear. So one guy will see the thing and make it. So he coming for Ghana to research, to go come and see me. So he tell me, by all means, we take me to the London to go and make the coffin
for them to see. That it's true, it's real.
I entered the Nottingham. My picture. Bad with the lion.
The lion. That was what he did.
The whole time.
Okay.
So we take me to the Grover Park. Grover Park. You know there?
I don't know there. I haven't been there.
So they are going to Grover Park, me and the son, Jacob. They are see, they make the thing very, 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 very nice.
Okay, that's your lion.
Yeah.
But that's the Ghana version, or?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a new one.
Okay. But you built a similar one?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Please continue.
Yes, and at that time, the filmmaker came to make a short movie about fantasy coffins in Ghana. But when he came, he realized, there's a very big story, because he realized, Pajo being a legend, he need to do more. So the documentary became a movie, and it took about 5 years for him to, and he flew to Ghana over 6 times to
put it together.
Yes, his family, where he church, the workshop, and everything about him. And so we have to fly to the United Kingdom, Nottingham, to do a residency, a 1-month residency, and to do a performance also on the demonstration of Ghanaian funeral, beliefs and funeral stars. And that was the ceremony or the climax for the residency. And about a number of people came, to watch, and they were all very pleasant.
And how did you feel, Pajo?
Oh, I don't feel bad. I feel good, very, very, very good.
Why?
You see, one thing, she tried to give the food, and the place they are sleeping. Me and Jay, only they are two. The whole house.
Wow, they give you a full house.
Someone said, he said, because of us, he left his own apartment for us to stay in.
Wow.
And they traveled abroad to Spain. They left from Nottingham to Spain, and they left us in the house for the 1 month. So we were the only people stay.
You really enjoyed.
Really. They also enjoyed our visits.
Okay.
They also enjoyed our visits, and they appreciate what we were doing. At that time, there was a popular also coffin maker in Nottingham named Crazy Coffins. So I think they were the people who sponsored us the working bench, the working tools. They gave us everything we need, and they even organized a party for Pajo. At that time they were celebrating an anniversary. So they took that opportunity for Pajo to open the anniversary for them, and it was very pleasant.
That's interesting. So beyond what happened there, globally, you've been celebrated. You also have a lot of your works in museums, and tell us a bit about them. Which cities have you visited? And then
we have a permanent display or collection in the British Museum. When you go to the British Museum now, but when you go to Ghana Museum, they don't even have a piece.
Why?
A prophet is not being appreciated in his own country. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. When you go to the British Museum in New York, you have our piece permanent display. When you go to Royal Ontario Museum in Canada, they have our piece on permanent display. When you go to Paris, Fondation Cartier, Centre Pompidou, and
Dresden, Germany.
Yes, a lot. As we speak today, there's an open exhibition of our works in Cologne, in Germany.
Okay.
And let's say, beside that, Ghana, few months ago, we had an exhibition with Gary 957, Kempinski, you know, to celebrate Pajo's 70th birthday and his 40th anniversary in making this year. Yes, yes. And I think the exhibition is still ongoing in Gary 957. And beside in Nigeria, when you go to at 21 in Lagos, you know, a lot of places. Korea, Japan, every part.
Wow.
Amsterdam, every part of the world.
That's interesting.
Every part of the world.
Good to know.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel, Pajo, that without formal education, you've been able to achieve all this? How do you feel about your achievement?
That's why I say now, I will forget education. I will forget my education because everything I may have the God will give me. But the education, if you die today, the education too will die. But this one is my head. So I've been produced to my son.
Yeah, so you impart, you know, you impart the skills. But when you work in the ministries, when you are no more, you know.
That's it.
Who do you impart your knowledge to?
So do you have plans of actually establishing a school or an academy where the young people can also come and learn?
There have been a lot of students abroad who have shown a lot of interest in doing a residency with us, flying to Ghana to study how, because they mostly use the machinery in producing their works. Yes, so they think they need to try their hands with our working tools, the basic tools we use, for them also to try on how to make these coffins. And we are putting things in place, you know, maybe this year or by the end of 2019, it should be out, you know. Academy, we do an exchange program. They can even go to the University of Ghana and maybe KNUST, they study some theory or about African studies. They come to the workshop, they learn some practicals. So it's in process.
Yes.
Yeah.
The time they go South Africa, in the 1 month I'm using for the one coffin, they are making the 3.
We made 3 coffins in 1 month. The two of us.
Which designs?
We made an eagle, a shark, and a James Dean Porsche.
Wow, that's interesting. So beyond exhibitions here and there, I know some key personalities have also bought some of your products. Can you mention some of them?
I think, let's say Jimmy Carter, the former president of United States of America. He has
bought a coffin from you.
Yes.
Okay.
And he visited our workshop twice.
At Teshi.
Nungwa. Anytime he visits Ghana, he made sure he was a very good friend of Pajo. Anytime he visits Ghana, he made sure.
Wow.
Yes, he made sure he visits before he goes. And when Bill Clinton came, he had a interest in visiting, but he had a short time, so he was not able to visit. And so, but the ambassador to Ghana at that time was able to purchase a miniature for him. When Barack Obama came to Ghana, he also had an interest in visiting him. But by then we have relocated, so he was not able to visit, and he flew back. Yes, and Busumuru Kofi Annan has also visited the workshop. Ex-President J.J. Rawlings, when I think that was in the 80s, in the 80s, he purchased a miniature in the form of an aircraft for his children. I don't know whether it was Zena or I don't know. Yes, one of his children, you know. And these are some of the personality who have been able to acquire some of our works. Yeah.
That's good. So now, Pajo, tell us a bit about your family. I know Jacob is your first son. How many children do you have?
Oh, I have plenty.
You can't put a number to it? Okay, roughly how many children do you have?
I have about 8.
You have 8 of them?
3 men and 5 ladies.
Okay, and how many wives?
Today now I don't have wife, so go and bring me the wife.
That's interesting. So what's your favorite food?
Oh.
Can it be Kwame and Kena?
Oh, well, the food, I don't mind any food. Any food I may get it, I may chop.
I think the most important or interested food he likes most is maybe some gari and some dry fish, you know. Yes,
okay.
Without pepper. And
it's nice, huh?
Yeah.
your favorite music? Hip hop, hip life, high life.
Oh, because of my work, I don't get the time to
listen to music.
Yeah, the music. Because every time I'm busy.
So when you wake up, what's a typical day for you? What do you do when you wake up in the morning till you go back to sleep?
Oh, maybe just I'm pray small, then I'm go.
To your workshop.
The tea, I like it, but not too much.
What about
So your husband, me, you don't have problem with the food.
you want to come in?
Most of the time, yes, when he wakes up, maybe he mostly wake up maybe at 4 a.m. He think a lot about, because let's assume you're having about 5 apprentices, and every one of them is making a piece. You need to think about all the 5 pieces.
How it will fit.
Yes.
Together.
So, from when you enter into the workshop, you need to settle this person into something because you've already finished. Yes, in your mind before coming. So when the encounter time, when it comes to you, it becomes easier for you because you've already have the solution before coming into the workshop, and that's most of the times what he does.
You're 70 years now.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that make you happy as a person?
Oh, well, if you take God as your father, your mother, your brother, everything, there you go.
Any regrets? Are there things you've done that today you sit back and reflect over, and then it's like, I shouldn't have done this?
No.
What did you say?
I'm asking whether is it sure there's no regrets?
Jacob says there may be some regrets. Let's have at least one.
Jacob, I'm born there, Jacob.
He has some regrets,
Okay, share with us.
Yes, as he said, looking at comparing education, sometimes education is good because when you have clients and when they come with you with paper, contracts, and you need to sign with that knowledge.
If you can't read,
yes,
understand.
You will sign something which you put yourself into trouble.
Has it happened before?
Yes, several years ago. Several years ago, because anytime they come in rush, but he should have done more, or he should have achieved more. But he mostly used to say in the early days, because the money was flowing, looking at Efira Swabi, full, with money, he misused most of the money, which he will even be able to acquire some estates in years. And exactly, he misused, and sometimes that's the regret he go through. Yeah.
Okay. So, what are your plans now? Of course, you've mentioned the school that you want to establish to impact that knowledge to the younger people. What are some of the other things that you're planning to do?
Building a gallery. Because, as I said, some of the regrets, he has worked for 40 years. He has achieved, but not enough. If you were to be a teacher, maybe you might give him maybe 5/10. Or 4/10, although he has done, because you will be expecting him to do more because of
with the kind of work
exactly.
He should be a very rich man.
Exactly. Yes, so we are trying to put on a gallery when visitors comes. When your crew came to the workshop, looking at our workshop, sometimes we even find it very we don't find very comfortable in receiving visitors in the workshop, looking at the state, because we believe we should have done more. So being a gallery and opening some branches across Ghana and maybe outside Ghana also as well. Yes. Yeah.
So Pajo, how would you want to be remembered that many years to come? If somebody should mention Pajo, especially Pajo and the Lion, what do you want society to know once you go on that?
You see, the Ghana here, nobody know me. But then if you go there outside, more people know me.
It's true. When you Google your name, Pajo.
And even in universities abroad, I have heard from a lot of students in universities abroad, people say, we study your dad in school. But in Ghana, who studies him? No one.
So what do you want us to do as a country?
So now, I'm trying to get the money to make the big gallery.
Okay.
In the center.
That's Pobiman. Where you
or maybe in the center of Accra, in the center, because it's a busy, yes, Accra is very busy, you know. With,
you see? But because the Pobiman is a far away. Not a far away, but it's a far away. But I'm like to get a land in the Accra to make the gallery big one.
And Jacob, so far, what have you learned from your father?
I've learned a lot.
I know definitely one day take over from him.
He mostly, let me say, or he's always serious about his job. Always serious. When I learned this trade from him for 8 years, after... You
went to school?
Yes, I went to school, and
What did you do? What did you study?
Building construction in school, and I completed in 2007. Yes, 2007. And from there, I got myself, because I wanted to go to the university, and I also have the passion, I have the calling to be a pastor.
Okay.
Yes, and it's like he said, no, you can't go to school, you can't be a pastor, you know. Who will take over from me when you become a pastor? Because the church may needs you, and also needs you. I don't want my name Pajo, you know, to die. Yes, so I want someone to take over me. It became a very tough, you know, a decision for me.
But have you regretted?
No. And I said to him, I know a lot of pastors who have their own business, and yes. So when the church needs me today for a service, I will attend, and if my job also needs me, I will be available. You know. And anytime maybe I'm doing or making a coffin and there is a mistake, I prefer I move on. So next time I'll be correct. But he wants instant correction.
Okay. He wants the job done.
Yes. But sometimes initially I prefer let me finish. I've already passed that session. Let me finish next time when I'll do the correction. But he said no. You need to put a stop there. You may restart again. Looking at the weeks you've spent in making this very, and if you don't take care, you may lose, you know, temper, and you may not even try to continue again. But anytime in his absence, I quite remember I was making a piece. He wasn't available at the workshop for some weeks, and I was there alone making a coffin. And there was a mistake, and I said if my dad should be here, he would stop me and will ask me to re-correct it, I guess. So I stopped and I made the correction myself. You know, so what I learned from me, when you find that this is a fault which is not good, stop and restart it again, or stop and maybe a new one, or you rechange it again.
You know, Pajo, I'll give you the opportunity to advise the young ones. You know, now we are quick to get the money. We are not prepared to, you know, go through the process to get up there. But you have been there, and especially where you didn't go to school, but today you've made it. Yes, educate the young people what they should do to be able to get there.
You see, I will tell you something. I say, me, I don't go to school, you don't worry me. But the people will come in, everybody will go to school. From class 1 to university, to masters.
Emeritus.
So if you tell him to come and learn the work, he don't try to come. It's a very hard.
So what should they do? What should they do?
Oh, well, you see, I get the money.
Yeah,
I get the money, I can make it. Then the people will come and learn their work. But I'm trying to government, the Ghana government will help me for the National Museum to make my team today. But I don't get people to can lead me to go.
Okay. You know, Pajo, before I let you go, we did some interviews at your workshop, so we'll take them and then we'll wrap up.
I feel to money, catch a bit, there you know that I feel to know by your so the son in Aka, J. No, she, a general papani, a chon, Nibiade, no cloud or chon wong, or a poor one or a fiano fiano.
Padre, Beni, Legi, the Mokoni is smoke Mosaniwa, smoke bomb. At the same time, K. Nanumo. Ukele yeshi no doba ibanya echebu ni uba wale ya nuchumo onka enka se ni BP because ni bi na etwon ofa etwon wo BP ofia no ko baba wo ba twu habu ofia no ni ji bunwa deka ya bunwa deka gbe fan le ekofia ko twu.
Well, so those were some of the workers of Paju. You know, I don't speak Ga.
Yeah.
So what were they saying? The
first co-partner, he was an apprentice to Paju. He studied for over 12 years before he graduated. He's now a master on his own, and he has been called to assist Paju in one of his commissions he received from Los Angeles. And what he was saying, he said, when you begin your apprenticeship for the first time, you may think there is some more treatment, there is a force on you, and if you don't take care, you may be discouraged
and stopped.
But they have realized that it's a good thing, for your master, to push you harder so that you study more. Yes, and the second person is also a master. He has also studied for over 10 years. And he also said, Paju is a kind of person, he loves everyone. Yes, and when he gets a commission and you have a good motive about him, he makes sure he calls or he invites you to take part, he pays you so that you also get some money on you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jacob. And so on that note, we end today's encounter with our legend, and then he is Paju, the coffin maker, and he's very popular with the lion. So Paju and the lion, as when you Google on the internet, you find. And my name is Gifty AJ. Thank you so much for watching. We'll come your way same time, God willing, next week. Until then, bye for now.